Good morning. It is Friday, the 3rd of March, 2023. I'm Pearson Bowen. This is the CBC Morning Report. The Caribbean region has the highest death rates from prostate cancer, and because of this, the University of the West Indies is doing a number of studies to address the issue. The Iron Man project is one which looks at prostate cancer. There's also the African Cancer Gene Registry, which examines genetics to see why people of African descent are predisposed to cancers. There's also the Barbados National Registry, which maps the state of cancer in this country. To discuss these programs and the efforts to address cancer is Dr. Natalie Graves, a clinical researcher and educator. Dr. Graves, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
With all of these, thank you so much. With all of these studies and issues on, what are you hoping to achieve? What results are you looking for? What are you looking for?
Well, firstly, we're hoping to achieve basically a sensitization of the Barbadian public, one, to the incidence and the number of persons who die from cancer, and to avail the population to mobilize into early detection through screening and prevention. We're also, more importantly, hoping to identify treatment options that might be useful to improve the survivorship of persons of African ancestry, in particular, of some of these very aggressive cancers in our subpopulations. So I would say that the two outputs are twofold. I think with knowledge, there is power. So if persons understand our risk, our genetic risk, they're more likely to avail themselves to the screening tests and the early treatment and detection options that are available. So we're really hoping to revolutionize what I would say is cancer survivorship in Barbados and the region, to, in essence, change that really terrible picture that exists right now.
What's the methodology that you're using to be able to gather the types and why the African connection?
Okay, so firstly, I want to deal with the second question first, if I may. Unfortunately, persons of African ancestry are not necessarily very well represented in the literature, in the research studies that have been done. And one of the things that we want to understand would be the particular predispositions that we have, especially also given the cultural and social things that our populations are experiencing. So firstly, there is the study of what falls upon the people. That's called epidemiology. And to do that, we do cancer surveillance. So in Barbados, every day there are persons who are looking at the age of persons who have cancer, what kinds of cancers they have, so that we can actually understand the trends of what is falling upon the people. And if we understand the trends of what's affecting persons in Barbados, then we can best give advice to persons in policy or the healthcare institutions, etc. Now, as it relates to the particular genetic studies that we're talking about, in terms of the Iron Man study, we are using blood samples for that. And basically, if you can imagine spinning down the blood into the extent where you're actually getting the genetic molecules and then examining that. And likewise, the ACGR is also using serum and with plans to use saliva and urine. Yes, because in essence, our DNA is available in all of our cell types. And that's what we're doing.
I know it's an ongoing study, but what have you found so far?
Okay, so this is very important. So the BNR has been ongoing for many years, and that is a national surveillance unit, and we can share results from that. Iron Man is ongoing, and so we can't share results from that as yet, but we want to use this opportunity to remind persons, especially clinicians, that if you have a patient with advanced prostate cancer, that you can enroll your patient into this study. And if you are a patient and you're listening and you have advanced prostate cancer and you want to discuss the possibility of being enrolled in this study with your physician, you're more than welcome to do so. And the ACGR study, which takes into consideration persons with prostate cancer and breast cancer, that's being mobilized. So as it relates to BNR, we can share that unfortunately, as you would have said in your lead up, we have some cancers that are very common in Barbados. And as it relates to prostate cancer for many years now has been the cancer with the highest number of new cases every year. And also, unfortunately, prostate cancer is the cancer that most people die from in Barbados. So it's the highest in terms of new cases. It's the highest in terms of the number of deaths every year. That's quickly followed by breast cancer. And not surprisingly, number 3, but it's very, very important because it's a cancer that can be cured. is colorectal cancer. So colorectal cancer ends up being the number 2 cancer for men and the number 2 cancer for women and the number 3 overall. And I think particularly this is of concern because prostate cancer has a screening test. It has early detection things that can, if you have it, it can be detected, it can be treated, it can be sorted. The same for breast and the same for colorectal. So the thing is, we have persons who are having these particular cancers, but also dying of these cancers. And what we want to do, oops, my microphone is dropping out of my ears. What we want to do is increase the knowledge of persons about what you can do to reduce your risk. So reduce the likelihood of you getting a cancer in the first place, and also to reduce the likelihood of you dying from the cancer if you do get it. Because what we do know from evidence is that up to 1/3 of cancers are preventable. So could you imagine if we were able to implement things that could reduce the number of persons that get prostate cancer, breast cancer, colorectal? That would just be game changing, to put it simply.
I wish I had more time. Oh, it does indeed. I wish I had more time to delve further into this, but we want to encourage men in particular because prostate cancer is a man's disease. If you are a doctor treating a patient with prostate cancer, or you're a man yourself with prostate cancer, then join the study so that we get to understand better, and it helps generations to come. Dr. Graves, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. Wish we had more time, but perhaps on another occasion we can talk a lot further. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, bye-bye.
Dr. Natalie Graves, a clinical researcher and educator. We're taking a look at the cancer study in Barbados. We're taking a break here on the Morning Report, but coming up, the G20 foreign ministers fail to reach an agreement on ending the war in Ukraine.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
A meeting of the Group of 20 has ended without a consensus on the Ukraine war as China joined Russia in refusing to support a demand for Moscow to cease hostilities. The two were the only countries at the gathering of G20 foreign ministers yesterday in New Delhi not to agree on a statement demanding Russia's complete and unconditional withdrawal from the territory of Ukraine.
A moment for reflection and unity, as foreign ministers from the G20 stood for a moment of silence to remember the victims of the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. And it was in that spirit that their host, India's Prime Minister, called on those assembled to use the meeting for resolution, not rancor.
We should not allow issues that we cannot resolve together to come in the way of those we can.
However, as the foreign ministers of the world's 20 largest economies met in New Delhi, the war in Ukraine dominated discussions, along with its impact on global food supplies, energy prices and security.
There are some matters of sharp differences of opinions and views. Yet, we must find common ground and provide direction, because that is what the world expects of us.
On the sidelines, a very brief meeting between Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. It was the first time both had met since the Russian invasion, but if anything of substance was achieved, both remained tight-lipped. Later at a press conference, Lavrov blamed the failure for consensus on the Western nations present.
Unfortunately, the declaration on behalf of all ministers of the G20 group was not endorsed. Our Western colleagues, like a year ago, under the Indonesian G20 chairmanship, were seeking to bring to the forefront an issue of the situation around Ukraine by truths and untruths.
And Antony Blinken conceded that the failure to move forward threatened the principles on which the G20 was founded.
That there are real challenges to the multilateral system, and those challenges, in many ways, are coming directly from Russia, which has been violating the very principles that lie at the heart of that system.
India's chairmanship of the G20 was supposed to be the blossoming of its ambitions to lead the global south, promoting issues like debt alleviation and climate change. But that seems to have been put on hold by ongoing concerns over the war in Ukraine.
Government-issued tracking devices for fishing vessels have been proposed for St. Lucia. It's hopeful that they will reduce the incident of missing fishers. Fisheries Minister Alfred Prosper says such an initiative is critical for further guarantee fishers' safety as they ply their trade.
Fisheries Minister Alfred Prosper, while lamenting the increasing incidents of fishermen being lost at sea, revealed that support is well underway as the government moves to equip fishers with tracking devices for their vessels. The devices are expected to aid fishermen should they experience difficulty when venturing into open waters. According to the minister, a pilot project commissioned with Viewfort Fishers showed up some deficiencies. However, Prosper hopes with some adjustments by the responsible telecommunications company, fishers would be able to get their hands on these tracking devices by month end.
We had a pilot done in Viewfort, and it seemed, what I was told is that it didn't really meet the expectations of the fishermen, because they had some functionality issues that Tisha is supposed to be looking at. I am hoping that before the end of March, we should begin enrolling those devices for our fishers. I know the importance of those devices to our fishermen. I am concerned when anyone is lost at sea, because I believe the device would be an important step in preventing our fishers to be lost at sea.
The proposed tracking devices, according to the minister, will allow the telecommunications company and the Marine Police Unit to more accurately detect vessels that may have experienced difficulty on the water. Prosper encourages all fishers to outfit their vessels with the device when it becomes available.
The device is able to allow Digicel, the Coast Guard, to locate the fishers wherever they are. And I am calling on the fishers of St. Lucia to take advantage of this opportunity when we are going to roll it out, because it is going to save lives.
Well, coming up at 6:30 when you join me for Morning Barbados, what happens in the Center for Resources Management and Environmental Studies? And what programs do they have? We will have those questions and a whole lot more straight ahead for them as well. Tomorrow is World Obesity Day, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados will join us as we take a look at this niggling NCD with a special focus on childhood obesity. Don't miss that interaction as well. And we'll also be taking a look at ear and hearing care for all today, as today is World Hearing Day. What do we take for granted? Those are some of the ideas we'll be sharing with you when you join me at 6:30 on Morning Barbados. We'll take a break here on the CBC Morning Report. We'll be back in just a moment.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love.
The legal representative for a developer who allegedly has plans to block access to the Joes River Bridge in St. Joseph is attempting to set the record straight. CBC's Sharika Griffith has the story.
A recent social media video claims the developer of the old Edgewater Hotel is planning to construct walls to block residents' access to Joes River and a popular lookout point. It's causing much concern for residents, including Victor Lewis, who has been living in the area for 66 years.
I run around there practically every morning, across the bridge. I go in there and fish. I go there and relax. I go there and enjoy the tranquility. We go there and enjoy Take Up and Saucer in terms of its views. When you want to relax, that's where you go. Everybody comes to Joes River Bridge. But now we cannot afford, as a country, to allow personal development. I know that when Edgewater Hotel was there, we could have walked through Edgewater Hotel. We patronized that over the years in terms of luncheons, in terms of weddings, etc. No difficulty.
His sentiments have been echoed by a number of other residents.
For the hotel, I find it good because it would bring in fellas along the area to work and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. But if he's going to block off the properties that we usually run at the river, that feed us and our younger youths years ago. I feed on that river, catching crayfish, going in there for bait, for fishing in the sea. And so much things that we use it for, going to take a rest sometimes, and to chop it off like that, I find that it's bad.
Before COVID, we passed that bridge going to pick grapes. You know, I go down there because when the sea is good, I go to pick moss, sea moss, and I would think it's a bit much that you can't pass. Why should this happen to us?
However, Faith Finisterre, the attorney for the developer Edgewater Investments Limited, says the information being shared about Project 10B is incorrect.
Any plans which have been made for the development have been approved by the Town and Country Planning Office. And furthermore, none of these plans include any walls which will preclude the access of persons to pass and repass over the railway trace.
Ms. Finisterre has confirmed 2 walls are being constructed near the entrance to the Joes River Bridge.
As explained to me by the architect, these are just walls that are being built to shore up this walkway. They're not meant to exclude anyone, and as you can see, there is still access over the bridge, and we just saw persons down here in front of the river, so there is going to continue to be access under here. These gentlemen are now coming up. You go under the bridge and you can still access this area.
The multi-million-dollar project is attempting to transform the site of the old Edgewater Hotel into a world-class beach house and villa. According to officials, construction has been delayed as a result of health and safety threats posed by the derelict Edgewater villas on the adjacent property. However, they expect to complete the project by November. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
A comprehensive review of the cotton industry is coming, with privatization being an option. Trevor Thorpe reports.
Payments to reap the crop have been increased, but the minister says cotton harvesting is difficult.
We have to do a number of things in order to bring it back. I've had queries from a couple of private persons who have expressed an interest in getting involved as well. And once we can confirm their involvement and get them going, we would do a comprehensive overhaul of the cotton industry to make sure that we look at how it can be mechanized, because the time has come now where we're going to have to look at how it can be mechanized, and then look at how we can increase the production of cotton as well. When I first came to the ministry, I actually wanted us to get up to 2,000 acres of land for cotton, because that would help us to meet our quota.
But Mr. Day believes the prevailing conditions make the industry attractive for private investment, to which he is open.
I also wanted us to go back looking at how we can create our own lint and do our own textiles as well. So there's work to be done. We have obviously to find the partners to work with us. I see this as a great opportunity for private investment, and I'm going to pursue the conversation with those people who have queried how they can get involved.
Turning the industry into a full value chain is the direction in which to go, and the Agriculture Minister says he supports the mechanization of the industry. But he says all indicators are pointing to a better harvest this year.
I don't just want to grow cotton to export in bulk, as we are currently doing. I am interested in the full value chain, and therefore the conversations that I'm about to have will certainly be in pursuit of getting a full value chain industry out of cotton.
The 10-week-long 2023 cotton harvest will end next month. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Police officers in the Bahamas have gone beyond the call of duty to reach the community, one adult and one child at a time, with the most important meal of the day. Every Wednesday, officers from the Southern Division assemble in the early morning hours to prepare and distribute breakfast for those living in the community. We hear more in this Our News report.
When you think about police officers, you generally think about them fighting crime, and there may even be some negativity that comes along with that. But these officers want to do more than just fight crime. They want to reach the community, one adult and one child at a time, with the most important meal of the day. The program involves feeding breakfast every Wednesday at the Kwaku Street Police Station. Officer in charge of the Southern Division, Chief Superintendent Antonio Monroe, explains that as a young boy from Hatchet Bay, Eleuthera, he went to school many days without food.
I remember on many days, no breakfast, no lunch. So when I came to the Southern Division in July last year, doing the walkabout, you tend to have an appreciation of what's going on in the division. And I thought it fitting that even though we are a police station, some things that we can do. This is mandated by our commissioner. If you look at his priorities, the first priority speaks to community policing. And we thought it best that we do these kind of initiatives to assist the young people.
And leading the charge is Manager of Community Policing for the Southern Division, Inspector Freddie Lightbourne, who says the meal goes beyond just feeding people.
Born and raised in Montalites, seeing the effect that poverty had on people, we thought that and I personally think that it's important that we do what we can to help others. But this is more than just serving food. This is building relationships. You would see some of the interactions that we would have with members of the public, from kids all the way up to adults. This builds rapport, this builds trust, and people would be more comfortable mentioning things to you that they would not mention otherwise.
And then there's resident chef, woman police corporal Yvonne Adderley, who cooks the meals every week.
We do grits, tuna, corned beef, and sausages every Wednesday. Yes, the cost of living is high, but sometimes you got to nip it in the butt and, go overboard with it. And it's very important to me to know that I could be able to help someone when they go on the way to school and help those who don't have it.
And while no one wished to speak on camera with us, everyone who came while we were there were grateful for the warm meal, adults and children included.
Elon Musk's rocket company SpaceX has launched 4 astronauts to the International Space Station for NASA, including the first person from the Arab world to go for an extended months-long stay.
Engine sequence start has been...
It's rare that 2 rockets are readied simultaneously on launch pads half a world apart, aiming for the same target. Both were headed to the International Space Station. The first was Russian, sending a passenger ship to replace another that Russia says had been hit by a small meteor and leaked all of its coolant. The second was American, carrying a mixed crew from the US, Russia, and the UAE that could only arrive once the rescue ship was in place.
Stage 1, throttle up.
Russia and the US run the International Space Station together with Europe and other partners. The war in Ukraine threw the global space industry into disarray, Missions dependent on Russia were cancelled or postponed, and private industry looked for new launch options. But America's NASA and Russia's Roscosmos struck a deal in the summer of 2022 that despite sanctions, they would barter seats, carrying one of the other's astronauts on every launch and promising to evacuate the others in case of emergency.
Sometimes people think that we can, split space station. There is no way. It's like cutting your car in half. One half and the other half will not work.
Misfires and strikes have jostled the station over the past 2 years. When debris are incoming, astronauts have limited options. The station can move, or a crew can shelter for safety. There are no built-in escape pods. Crews have only what they came up in. On board, science experiments continue in robotics, the human body in space, cancer research, and physics.
The real output of the space station is maintaining this immense, complex engineering miracle for decades. And we need to know how to do that if we're going to have, settlements on Mars or deep space human systems.
And that depends on the people inside.
Cooperation has a long history. The life of people in space at the International Space Station is really setting a very good example of how people should be living on Earth.
All of this just a month before the release of the first feature film shot in orbit on the station by a director and actress from Russia about a fictional health emergency in space.
To sports now, we continue our preview of tomorrow's Sandy Lane Gold Cup with a look at 3 more of the entries, including the 2 charges of the man who has won the Gold Cup as owner more than anyone else. Anne-Marie Burke reports.
Sir David Seal has tasted Gold Cup glory more than any other racehorse owner. 34 years and 8 Gold Cups later, including the 2022 win of Night Prowler, he again is in with a double chance at Gold Cup victory. His 3-year-old English colt, Brilliant News, won at the Gold Cup distance of 1,800 meters for the first time racing in the August 2022 season of Emancipation Handicap. And on board for Saturday's race will be Ray Williams, who was paired with him on that winning ride. The up-and-coming jockey is settling back into racing at home after a stint overseas and is ready for Saturday's big one. Brilliant News ran 5th in the Coolmore, but the Anthony Nunes trained horse should not be counted out. They go out of gate 6. Still in Sir David's camp, Renaissance Frolic will be back for a second bite at the Sandy Lane Gold Cup and will be keen on improving on his 6th place performance in the 2020 running. In the saddle will be Kyle Carter, a virgin to the Gold Cup winner's circle, but definitely a reinsman who will give it his all. This horse is also trained by Nunes and will go out of gate 8. Also among the starting 9 is Bodhi Tap, who was second in the 2020 Gold Cup and was recently 3rd in the Coolmore. Let us give you an idea of his class. Trainer Rommel Lovell says he is more than ready to make it a winning run.
It's Bodhi's 3rd spin. The last Gold Cup we held before the pandemic, he was 2nd. And I think he's a lot better now. He's a bit older, but I think he's a lot better now than before. He's training well. He's all fit as good as we can. So let's hope it's up and onwards. Well, we ran him once for the year. We ran him in the Coolmore, and he had a good end-to-end gallop. And we had a nice gallop on the turf last weekend on the 25th, and he came out of that flying. So he's been good. So far, so good.
The UK-based jockey Sean Levy will be on board yet again, and Lovell is confident the pairing will be fruitful.
Sean is a world-class rider. Sean have sat on him before. Sean rode him in the first Gold Cup when 2019 when he came. So Sean is very familiar with him, and it's a very competitive race. So everybody's looking for every edge they can get, to hopefully things can go their way.
Bodhi Tap is on the fringe of the outside, going out of gate 7.
All right, let's take a look at forecast conditions now recorded earlier at the Met Office of the Grantley Adams International Airport, 24.1 degrees Celsius at the moment under fair conditions. The winds are coming from the east at 28 kilometers an hour. The humidity is 81%, though it feels at 25 degrees at the moment. The barometer reads 1014 millibars. Heading to the sea today, expect a low tide at 20 minutes after 7 this morning and again at 20 minutes after 8 tonight. We'll have a high tide at 24 minutes after 1. Seas moderate and open water, swells ranging from 1.5 to 2 meters and increasing. Barbados today, partly sunny with a few brief isolated light showers mainly in the morning period. And Barbados tonight, mostly fair at first, becoming clear with cloudy periods with a few brief scattered light showers after midnight. And a look at some forecast conditions for some international cities. That's it for today's edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Pearson Bowen. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Friday morning, good morning everybody. Welcome indeed to today, Friday. We are at the 3rd of March 2023. Boops, hit my head. But you know, I really want to say welcome and thank you so much for joining us. And now today we'll give you a chance to unscramble some letters thanks to Family's Choice. So look out for that opportunity coming up in just a little while. We're also just days away from Clean Up Barbados. We want to give you some details as to how you can still volunteer to be a part of it and how you can still contribute to its success as well by donation of some items. And so the organizers will join us in just a moment. We will also today be touching Tisha's secret spot. Ha ha ha. Look out for that in just a moment. Where shall she be today? We'll hear about the Air and Hearing Care for All today as World Hearing Day is on. What are we taking for granted and how can we fix our hearing? What should we do or do not do? Tomorrow is also World Obesity Day, and so the Chief Executive Officer of the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados will join us today as we zero in on this niggling NCD with a special focus on childhood obesity. But we want to get started this morning by continuing our taste of what's on offer at the University of the West Indies as we turn our attention now to the department known as the Center for Resource Management and Environmental Studies, otherwise known as CERMES. Joining me is Dr. David Yawson. He's the director, and with him is Dr. Carl Payne, the lecturer and program coordinator for the Water Resources Management Stream. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
Dr. Yawson, I'll start with you. Tell me what happens in your Center for Resource Management and Environmental Studies.
Thank you very much. Typically, the Center for Resource Management and Environmental Studies is a postgraduate teaching and research center. So we basically do teaching of graduate students in environmental science and natural resources management. We also carry out research on various topics of interest and contemporary relevance in the Caribbean and in the world. At the same time, we also carry out a lot of consultancy services, advisory services, as well as outreach. So this is our typical routine at the Center for Resource Management and Environmental Studies.
So walk me through some of the programs, though, because broadly that's what you do, but specifically, what are some of the programs that you do offer there?
Well, CEMES has one flagship MSc program known as the MSc Natural Resource and Environmental Management. This program actually started in the mid-80s as a graduate diploma program, and then it was upgraded later in the later years of the 80s to early 90s to MSc program. It has evolved from then to a very broad MSc program with 4 specializations. And these specializations are water resources management, which is led by Dr. Carl Payne. We have climate change as a specialization. We have tropical coastal and marine resource management as another specialization. And just about 2 years ago, we added our youngest specialization, which is land management and environmental resilience. In addition to that, we have another program, which is sustainable energy management. And this program focuses on sustainable energy transitions, looking at energy mix and all the related policies and economics. The MSc NAREM, or Natural Resource and Environmental Programs, is modular in nature, which means that each course runs for about 2 to just over 3 weeks. And you drop the course and you move on to another course. You will first be introduced to our competency framework, which means you have general knowledge domain dealing with core courses related to natural resources management and environmental management. And then you move on to specialization domain, where you pick core competences on in your area of specialization. So the water resource management students will have their own elective courses. Land management will have their courses, coastal, marine resource management, climate change, etc. will have their courses. The good thing is that you have the flexibility of switching courses, so that if you are in water resource management and you are interested in a course in, say, land management, you can switch a course from your specialization domain to land management. We have recently added a mixed stream, which means you can draw on all the 4 available streams to build your own MSc. So these are the possibilities. Are the same as for this MSc NAREM program.
All of them critical. Yeah, all of them critical programs at this time in the Caribbean. Water resources management also is absolutely critical. So Dr. Payne, talk to me a little bit about when students enroll to be a part of the program. What are some of the areas that you'll be tackling as a lecturer in that specific specialty?
Yes, Pearson. So as you rightfully mentioned, we are really at the front line of the climate crisis. And what that means is rising sea levels, more saline water. When the rain does fall, more runs off. So in our program, if you want to learn about innovative ways to adapt to the reality of the climate crisis, the resources management and CERMES is the place to be. So it could be looking at the trade-off between things like desalination, water reuse, incorporation of renewable energy in the water resources sector. And what I like to say is that we have a very dynamic environment. So no 2 days ever look the same. You could be out in the field measuring water levels, quantifying water quality. You could be analyzing software. You could be interviewing people to get an idea of how their perception about the risk and how they feel about water reuse, for example.
You know, you've said it the way I wanted to say it too. It does not sound boring at all. It sounds very, very interactive, very hands-on as well as we do so. The opportunity for anyone, though, who wants to be able to look at specifically the Caribbean or their specific island, or to be able to feed into government policy, is that also being offered through what happens at CERMES?
Yes, definitely. We have students from as far as Belize all the way down to Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago. And so there are a wide array of different projects. And actually we have some, I'll talk a bit about the research aspect. We have US federal funding. Some of our fellows are through that program from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or in Jamaica doing marine studies, looking at coral reefs. Here in Barbados, we had a student mapping these infiltration wells, which are important for flood mitigation and aquifer recharge, with Barbados being water scarce. We have another fellow soon to come that will be looking at agriculture and the link to ensuring that we are climate resilient in that sector, and looking at coconut husks and so on as a soil amendment to ensure climate resilient agriculture as well. So we really have a broad scope at CERMES in terms of the diversity of projects and also in terms of the diversity of regions that we work in.
Dr. Yawson, share with us a little bit about how what you do at CERMES contributes to what governments decide eventually to be able to do to ensure up their approach to environmental conditions.
Okay, thank you very much. I would take a simple example, but very widely known. Since 2011, we know the Caribbean has been inundated with the sargassum seaweed, the brown tide. CERMES has been at the forefront of research in sargassum, trying to understand why the sargassum is happening, where it's coming from, how far it travels from the ocean to the seas to our shores. How do we quantify how much material is beached? How do we understand the concentration of nutrients in it or chemicals in it? How do we use the sargassum seaweed in various arenas, including agriculture, pharmaceuticals, and the rest, bioenergy, etc.? So CERMES has provided a lot of tools and materials in this area. Now we're building capacity across the region. The output from such a research goes into sargassum management, goes into policy actions, goes into international negotiations for support for the Caribbean in dealing with such environmental disaster.
So the skills learned, the information gleaned at CERMES really goes very, very, very far indeed. And so for anyone watching this morning, Dr. Yawson, talk to them about how they can now sign up to be a part of the programs at the UWI.
Thank you. Basically, you need to have a first degree, and you have a lower second division degree. You can apply to CERMES. Some persons might not have this degree. We have a bridging opportunity where if you have sufficient work experience in your area of specialization, we can consider looking at your application and making decisions regarding your admission. And so basically this is all you need to be able to come into the program. If you want to apply directly to the MSc program, you can contact our admin. You can contact our program coordinator. You can walk into CERMES. We are very open anytime, any day. Apart from the weekends, you can walk into CERMES and make inquiries, and we are there to help you. So you can come in with these qualifications to CERMES. If you want to do a research-based degree like MPhil or PhD, then you go into our website, look for a staff member in your area of interest, contact the person, and they will help you through to go through the application process, know what you need to do. But as I said, our admin, our program coordinator are always on hand to help our prospective students. And it's easier to be part of us because we are happy to help build capacity and contribute to sustainable development in Barbados and the Caribbean.
Absolutely. So now we know what we need to do as well. Dr. David Yawson, the Director of CERMES, and Dr. Carl Payne, Lecturer and Program Coordinator for the Water Resources Management Stream at CERMES as well. Thank you, gentlemen. A fascinating area in which you serve, and we wish you the very best. We hope that many people do now sign up to be a part of the programs offered through CERMES as well at the UWI. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Pearson.
Thank you very much for having us.
Welcome indeed. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Because Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing story.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
14 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. Tisha is out and about somewhere. Her secret spot she wouldn't share even with me. But we want to encourage you to see if you can figure out. Tisha, good morning. Where art thou?
Good morning, Pearson. You're not supposed to be asking me where I am. You're supposed to be guessing. And I am standing somewhere to give you a little bit of a clue, a little bit of an ambiance so you can start thinking about where I could possibly be. Let me just say that even my hairstyle today is a little bit of a clue for you. Plus, I want to give you two numbers to ponder on, 40 and 25. All right? 40 and 25.
40
yep.
or 25.
40.
The hair.
40 and 25.
Oh, 40 and 25.
My hairstyle, yes.
Hairstyle. And then the background location. I don't have a clue. So, folks, help me now. Help me for real. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call us and let us know where you think Tisha is. And then hopefully I'll find out in just a moment. So Tisha, you're going to be there and we're going to join you as soon as we are able to work out where you are. And we'll come back to you, okay?
Absolutely. So this is today's secret stop and the clues. 40 and 25. Two numbers to ponder on. And who knows, those two numbers just might get you a big win. Plus, the hair is done specifically for this secret stop.
Listen, this is hard work. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Work it out, folks. Give us a call. My producer will talk to you and we will see. We will tell you what the viewers think as well as to where you are, Tisha, in just a little bit. Thank you. 228-5562 or 228-5563. As she said, call now and let us know where you think Tisha's secret stop is this morning. And later on, we shall reveal to you exactly where she is. Let's turn our attention now to World Obesity Day, which is tomorrow. But today we're going to start talking a little bit about it so that we get you ready for it and perhaps have that life-changing, transformative conversation with you as well. Joining me now as we have this discussion is our own Michelle Daniel, who's the Chief Executive Officer of the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson. So nice to see you.
So nice to see you as well. I know you wear your red on a Friday, but February done. But we're still going red for women, aren't we?
My Barbados Coalition. Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition.
I got you. So here we are. We're talking about this now as World Obesity Day is tomorrow under the theme Changing Perspectives. Let's talk about obesity. And, you know, it sometimes feels as though you're talking forever more, but you're not seeing the kinds of changes. What are the statistics saying to you, and why do you think we still need to talk about this?
Thank you, Pearson. Excellent question. So, as you said, the theme is changing perspectives, and in terms of let's talk about obesity. So no matter how many milestones we reach, it is important to continue the conversation because change takes time. Yes, we have seen the taxation increase. Yes, the really wonderful launch of the Barbados School Nutrition Policy last month on February 15th under the Ministry of Education, Vocational Technological Training. But the fact remains is that change takes time, and we have to continue to talk, to share, to break down barriers, and to change mindsets in order to realize that people need to take different action. Because under the World Obesity Federation, they say if nothing changes and if the trend continues, and this is not children, this is all people, 1 in 4 persons will be obese in 2035. So we must continue talking and we must take action.
And the thing is that with this 1 in every 4 persons becoming obese, it also brings along with it a whole host of other health and medical conditions that we're also seeking to address. And so it's absolutely critical that we begin to look at our lifestyle changes. And I know oftentimes we hear those terms, lifestyle change, and we think, oh, that should be easy to do. It's not always easy, but it's doable.
No. Doable, and that's why this theme is so important. So it's doable. So let's look at what we eat. So we know in terms of excess sugar consumption at children, adults. Let's talk about the children. You continue to take excess sugar, you run the risk of diabetes in terms of kidney complications and all the other aspects. We're talking about non-communicable diseases. So we say in Barbados, 83% of deaths are caused by non-communicable diseases. Sugar, and then the other big one is salt. Salt, excess salt consumption. High blood pressure. High blood pressure is a risk factor for cardiovascular diseases, which include, as you said, cardiac and stroke elements. So it's very important to understand and to let that theme resonate with each and every one of us. We need to continue talking, we need to break down stigmas, and we need to make change. And that's why this policy in terms of changing the profile in schools, the school nutrition policy is so very important. And we laud the government and we laud the Ministry of Education for taking this bold step.
We have to also take it into the homes as well. You know, while at school could be all sanitized and well and good, no sugar there, there are pounds of sugar in the house as well, and that starts with how mommy and daddy decide to purchase items to place in the homes. What kinds of programs do you think we still need to do so that we raise further awareness about what we select to put into our shopping carts, to pay at the cashier for, and to take home into the cupboards?
Thank you, Pearson. So we say change takes time, and even before we get to in terms of holistically and the public service announcements, the ministry itself will be taking that journey. So they're going to be speaking to and having a full program, and I will let them speak about that in their time, but touching parents, the children, the vendors, because we have to work together. It's not just the Ministry of Education, not just the government of Barbados. It is us individual stakeholder pockets that need to work together. So yes, continue education in terms of demonstrations, in terms of understanding what options there are. There's an alternative beverage and snacks list, which is in circulation, and some more elements like that in terms of finding avenues and helping persons along and not saying, you know, this is what is going to be done and not providing any guidance and not providing any guidelines. So that's all part of the journey. The policy launch is one step. Then there's a continuum in terms of all the aspects that need to continue to be done to ensure the change is actually implemented and enforced in an effective way and not just haphazardly.
I know part of what you've been always talking about too is the front of label packaging. And I've seen change where that's concerned as well. So much so that when I go into the supermarket, I'm looking for a beverage, I'm reading labels very, very carefully now. And I'm seeing some beverages that do say reduced sugar. You see the effort being made to begin to take seriously the things we consume and how it impacts our non-communicable diseases, how it impacts our overall health, indeed. And so we want to, I suppose, as World Diabetes Day is tomorrow, and for childhood obesity, indeed, for people to really take some time to read the label. Read the label. Don't take it for granted that
take the time to read the label. And that's another step in terms of the front of package warning. So we're seeing improvements, but that's still an exercise that needs to be enforced. And so tomorrow, in terms of the coalition, so we would have started the activity. World Obesity Day, as you said, is tomorrow, March the 4th. But I just wanted to emphasize that we started in terms of from yesterday. So we posted on our social media, the Heart and Stroke social media platforms, in terms of congratulating, as I said, the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, the youth are an important arm in terms of the coalition, and they are writing a letter to the Prime Minister congratulating the government in terms of they can take this bold step and encouraging the next steps forward in terms of implementation. And then the chairman of our coalition, Dr. Gay Lewis, she will be delivering a letter of advocacy to the Ministry of Education, Technological and Training. So it's talking to the stakeholders, ensuring that, the coalition and they understand that there's support. And there is not even just support in terms of the coalition level, but on the ground in terms of support with the average person. Yes, there will be differences of opinion, but the fact remains is that through repetition and through sharing information, persons are understanding that things have to change. If we don't change this trajectory, we will have or continue to have even a more major crisis on our hands. So there are things that we need to do along the journey.
And I like what you're doing in being able to congratulate as it goes, because for the change to also take root, you must also celebrate when the changes occur so that it becomes the habit going forward as well. And so that's what you're seeking to do, while at the same time continuing to educate and all of the rest. Indeed. I like the whole concept of the youth arm. How are you building that out, and how are you getting their support so that they too join in the change that you're seeking to make?
Thank you. So within the coalition, there is actually a body of youth, and the interested persons, they can actually reach out to us. We have a significant complement at the University of the West Indies Cape Hill campus, but any young person who is interested and who has a passion for health, who may themselves have been obese or overweight as a child and can speak to the challenges, because a lived story, there is nothing like the lived story in terms of helping us to understand why change has to be required. So you can contact the program manager at the Childhood Obesity Prevention Program or the advocacy officer. The respective email addresses, or in terms of telephone, is quite easy, but you obviously have to go through a process. But we have young people who are engaged, passionate, and not just, some of them, as I said, have lived experiences, and not just for the sake of it, but we can actually see them energized and understanding that the changes need to take place now so that we have a healthier population to take care of us as we get older. We need young people to go into healthy adults so that they can continue the system in terms of governance, in terms of caring for those who are going to be older at that point in time. So this is why this is so important: the health of our children and the health of the nation.
It's completely interconnected, from the adult to the child to all of the different sectors of society as well. We all can play a part. We're sharing with folks now on the screen all the information you need to know in terms of contact details. So take a look very carefully, everyone. We've been talking about the Heart and Stroke Foundation from the beginning of the year. Now you know certainly how to tag them at HFS Barbados. And there it is on your screen. So do contact as soon as possible. Let's join in the response to how we change our lifestyle. How do we begin to one by one, day by day, minute by minute, choice by choice, seek to reduce the level of obesity in the island and in our children as well, because they are our caretakers as adults, but for them as well to take care of themselves, to be able to live longer, to be far more productive contributors to our society as well. Each of us can make that change, and each of us can make the difference. So let's begin the conversation, if you haven't begun to do so, in your homes, at your schools, at your churches, in your groups, in your workplaces as well. Remind each other to reduce the consumption of sugar, reduce the consumption of salt, do some more exercise, a lot more walking, do a lot more active work indeed, but let's help the other one along while we seek to make our change as well. And let's celebrate those changes when they occur. Michelle Daniel, thank you so much. I wish you and your team the best tomorrow and with your continued work. Here at Mornin Barbados, we're always ready to support you indeed. So all the best indeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pearson, and have a wonderful day, Barbados.
You too, indeed. Michelle Daniel, Chief Executive Officer of the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados. Tomorrow is World Obesity Day. Let's begin to talk. Let's begin now to change perspectives. That's the theme. We'll take a break here. We're coming back with the news in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
7 o'clock in Barbados in the Eastern Caribbean. Time for the news. The legal representative of a developer who has allegedly plans to block access to the Joes River Bridge in St. Joseph is attempting to set the record straight. Sharika Griffith has the story.
A recent social media video claims the developer of the old Edgewater Hotel is planning to construct walls to block residents' access to Joes River and a popular lookout point. It's causing much concern for residents, including Victor Lewis, who has been living in the area for 66 years.
I run around there practically every morning, across the bridge. I go in there and fish. I go there and relax. I go there and enjoy the tranquility. We go there and enjoy Take Up and Saucer in terms of its views. When you want to relax, that's where you go. Everybody comes to Joes River Bridge. But now we cannot afford, as a country, to allow personal development. I know that when Edgewater Hotel was there, we could have walked through Edgewater Hotel. We patronized that over the years in terms of luncheons, in terms of weddings, etc. No difficulty.
His sentiments have been echoed by a number of other residents.
For the hotel, I find it good because it would bring in fellas around the area to work and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. But if he's going to block off the properties that we usually run at the river, that feed us and our younger youths years ago. I feed on that river, catching crayfish, going in there for bait, for fishing in the sea. And so much things that we use it for, going to take a rest sometimes, and to chop it off like that, I find that it's bad.
Before COVID, we passed that bridge going to pick grapes. You know, I go down there because when the sea is good, I go to pick moss, sea moss, and I would think it's a bit much that you can't pass. Why should this happen to us?
However, Faith Finisterre, the attorney for the developer Edgewater Investments Limited, says the information being shared about Project 10B is incorrect.
Any plans which have been made for the development have been approved by the Town and Country Planning Office. And furthermore, none of these plans include any walls which will preclude the access of persons to pass and repass over the railway trace.
Ms. Finisterre has confirmed 2 walls are being constructed near the entrance to the Joes River Bridge.
As explained to me by the architect, these are just walls that are being built to shore up this walkway. They're not meant to exclude anyone, and as you can see, there is still access over the bridge. And we just saw persons down here in front of the river, so there is going to continue to be access under here. These gentlemen are now coming up. You go under the bridge and you can still access this area.
The multi-million-dollar project is attempting to transform the site of the old Edgewater Hotel into a world-class beach house and villa. According to officials, construction has been delayed as a result of health and safety threats posed by the derelict Edgewater villas on the adjacent property. However, they expect to complete the project by November. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Sharika, thank you. A comprehensive review of the cotton industry is coming, with privatization being an option. Trevor Thorpe reports.
Payments to reap the crop have been increased, but the minister says cotton harvesting is difficult.
We have to do a number of things in order to bring it back. I've had queries from a couple of private persons who have expressed an interest in getting involved as well. And once we can confirm their involvement and get them going, we would do a comprehensive overhaul of the cotton industry to make sure that we look at how it can be mechanized, because the time has come now where we're going to have to look at how it can be mechanized, and then look at how we can increase the production of cotton as well. When I first came to the ministry, I actually wanted us to get up to 2,000 acres of land for cotton, because that would help us to meet our quota.
But Mr. Way believes the prevailing conditions make the industry attractive for private investment, to which he is open.
I also wanted us to go back looking at how we can create our own lint and do our own textiles as well. So there's work to be done. We have obviously to find the partners to work with us. I see this as a great opportunity for private investment, and I'm going to pursue the conversation with those people who have queried how they can get involved.
Turning the industry into a full value chain is the direction in which to go, and the Agriculture Minister says he supports the mechanization of the industry. But he says all indicators are pointing to a better harvest this year.
I don't just want to grow cotton to export in bulk, as we are currently doing. I am interested in the full value chain, and therefore the conversations that I'm about to have will certainly be in pursuit of getting a full value chain industry out of cotton.
The 10-week-long 2023 cotton harvest will end next month. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Well, that's news until now. We'll have more news here on TV8 at 12 noon. Morning Barbados continues in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We are 7.5 minutes now after the hour of 7 o'clock as we turn our attention to today's global activity, which looks at World Hearing. World Hearing Day is today, the 3rd of March, with the theme, Air and Hearing Care for All, Let's Make It a Reality. And so we in Barbados also want to make it a reality. We are joined now by Dr. Mariella Stabler, who is an audiologist, the Barbados Speech and Hearing Center. With her is Shay Greenidge. We know her, the founder and chairman of the Deaf Heart Project. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good. Shay, good to see you yet again. How are things?
Things are going really well, Pearson. It's always great to be here. Thank you for having us this morning, and happy World Hearing Day to all.
I know you're passionate about this, and you've been agitating for the opportunity for us to have greater awareness of people who have hearing issues as well. So from your perspective, what is it that we still are falling short in?
Well, for World Hearing Day, the focus is on raising awareness primarily for ear and hearing care. And that is something that I think a lot of persons in Barbados need to have more information on. I'm not sure, Pearson, if you've ever had your hearing tested or screened, for example. And I think that today's mission for World Hearing Day in partnership with WHO and the World Hearing Forum is to really spread that awareness, to get more persons aware of how they can take care of their hearing, how they can take care of their ears, and just as the theme says, making this a reality for all, for deaf individuals and hearing individuals as well.
Dr. Stabler, Shay is right. We take our hearing for granted. My hearing has never been tested. And now we're joined by one of the interpreters. Her name is Kayleen Bangura. Good morning, Kayleen. You know, a lot of times people ask, do they talk? Yes, they also speak. And so, Dr. Stabler, let's talk a little bit about that. You know, the fact that we don't take enough care of our air. We take it for granted that we will always be able to hear. But that is not always the case, is it? There are things we do that we get wrong.
Yes, yes, definitely. It is definitely one of the senses that's easier to ignore than the others.
So what do I now begin to pay greater attention to when it comes to air care that I need to really start to zone in on? For instance, I'll use an example. I'm wearing an earpiece plugged into my ear. I do this Monday to Friday, and it's in there for the duration of the time. The danger there where that's concerned.
So there is certainly danger that's associated with excess noise. Usually I tell people if you're wearing a headphone, if you're wearing it in excess of, a few hours, just take some breaks every now and again. Give your ears some space. If you're wearing headphones, if the person next to you can sing along to the song, it's already way too loud. But yeah, it's mainly giving your ear breaks. The louder the noise level that you are exposed to with your ears, the more regular breaks you'll need to take in order to protect your ears from long-term hearing damage.
Possible for us to live a long life and not have hearing damage?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just recently tested a 90-plus-year-old that had almost normal hearing. That is definitely not the norm. But most of us are getting some hearing loss over time. What I'm trying to encourage people is that once you turn 50, try and get a hearing test, even if it's just what we call a baseline, so that if anything happens, we can then go back to that and compare and see how fast your hearing is decreasing, those kinds of things.
So what I'm hearing you to say is that as we age, our hearing will decrease.
Generally, yes, as a rule.
And so in order to remain operable, in order to be at our optimum, we need to be able to, as we do with our eyes, also check our hearing. And so that's absolutely critical. When we find our hearing being diminished, we think, oh, there's a buildup of wax, there's something going on there. So you know what we reach for? The cotton swabs, the hairpin, all of those kinds of things to fix it. What's the danger in that?
Oh, so many. I have a big note here saying you're not supposed to put anything in your ear but your elbow. My dad taught me years ago. But yes, there's so many dangers. One of them being, of course, the danger of pushing the wax or whatever it is further down into your ear and bursting your eardrum. And that is, of course, extremely painful but detrimental to your ears. Also putting things in like a hairpin that you're just picking up from the table next to you is introducing all kinds of bacteria and infection. So just don't put anything in there. That's the rule.
So what do we do? What do we do? We need to relieve the air. So what do we do?
I got you. How do you scratch that itch? Honestly, I just tell people if you really need to, take a damp towel and just put your finger right on the edge of your ear and wipe. Don't put anything down in your ear canal. You're just asking for trouble at that point. If you feel the need, you can let some water run in your ear from the shower and let it run back out. And if you really feel that there's something in there, ask your GP or somebody to take a look in there and see if there's actually a wax buildup.
Okay. So I've done it wrong. Thank you for that, indeed. But now we all know. Now we all know what we ought to get right, indeed. But Shay, when we don't get it right, when we're having experiences of hearing loss, sometimes people are not that kind. They don't quite understand that the challenge with the individual in hearing clearly what is being communicated. So what level of sensitivity would you want us generally as a population, as we really focus in on World Hearing Day and caring for our hearing, what kind of sensitivity would you want for all of us to be able to have as we interact with others who have hearing loss?
Well, firstly, I'm going to start personally talking to individuals who think that they may have some degree of hearing loss, because a lot of times persons don't even want to admit this within themselves or go see Dr. Stabler, because they feel some level of embarrassment. They think, they don't want to get that level of acceptance or admit that, something may be wrong and they should get it checked out. There's this thing where people don't even like to go to the doctor to get things checked out. So first and foremost, to those individuals, we're encouraging you to get yourself checked out, get your hearing tested, go for a hearing screening test. You can contact Dr. Stabler at any point in time. And also, because we work with persons in the deaf and hard of hearing community, Pearson, we want to definitely spread awareness of this issue as well, just to find ways to communicate. We're always doing sensitization, and we want persons to know that you can't tell by looking at some person that they're having a challenge. Even if we're having a simple interaction, you may be in the bank or something, and the person ahead of you may say something to them, and they don't quite catch what you're saying. We're encouraging you to be patient. You don't know the level of hearing loss that a person might have. You don't know if the person ahead of you may be deaf. So always be aware of the fact that we have persons in our community who are experiencing these things. And so that's our message today. And with World Hearing Day as well, we're also encouraging a different partnership, as I would have been sharing with some of the individuals on our team, and now we want to say this publicly. We do have, for the very first time in Barbados, a World Hearing Day event, and this was sanctioned by the World Health Organization, who have commissioned us to have this event and to spread awareness for World Hearing Day for 2023. And we're really grateful for this opportunity from the WHO. And we definitely want to have more persons in different sectors and industries aware. So we're having a really huge event on the 11th of March at the Solidarity House, thanks to the Barbados Workers Union. We have formed a partnership with the BWU, and we're very grateful for their support through this entire process. So we're going to be having this event and having different government ministers and agencies, professionals, and industry practitioners come out to hear more about how they can be sensitized to this, deaf sensitization as well, and how they can indeed use their platforms to create greater access to primary ear and hearing care for all in Barbados. That's the message this morning.
Indeed. And that's going to be quite a big event then on the 11th of the month, 11th of March. That's a week away, and certainly at the at the Workers' Union. Is
Solidarity House,
Yeah, is it a public event, by the way?
We're going to be having specially invited guests. We are going to be making different invitations to specific persons that we know can use their platforms to, create greater access and opportunity, because we feel as though persons are in positions where they can be sensitized, and if they know, then they can help us do better for our community. And so we're going to have this event at Solidarity House, and we're really looking forward to it because it's going to be a lot of fun, Pearson. It's going to be highly interactive. We're getting everyone who's present screened, and this very well may be their first hearing screening test ever. We don't know yet, but we're really excited about this. We're really excited to be spreading awareness and knowing that once people are aware, they can do better. And that's the thing, Pearson, even in working with the deaf and hard of hearing community, sometimes it's just because persons don't know, they're not sensitized. They may have never encountered this type of individual or issue in an individual before, and we just want people to know so that they can really use their resources to help us do better for persons experiencing any degree of hearing loss or deafness.
And so, Dr. Stabler, could you just briefly walk us through how do you test my hearing ability? What would you do? What's the basic steps that you take?
Right. So what I do, I just take a brief history, ask you a few questions, see what was going on. Then we'd put a set of headphones over your ears, or small ones that go in your ear. And then I'm going to be presenting some very soft beeps, and it's going to sound like beep, beep, beep in your ears. And you're going to be letting me know that you've heard those beeps, either by pressing a button, raising your hand, whichever works. So then by progressively getting softer and with those beeps at certain frequencies, I'll be able to have a reading that shows me what your hearing is over the range, low frequencies. And then doing that, I can then let you know how much hearing loss and what type of hearing loss you have.
Now, this is open to everyone, and so it's important because there are certain industries where you're predisposed. You know, you're working in the construction industry, jackhammers going constantly. In the business that I'm in, and we're wearing headphones for hours, sometimes, you know, you take it for granted that you're safe. And you're saying we need to know nonetheless, unless we've run across a situation where, for whatever reason, we didn't quite hear the noise and we find ourselves in an accident. And we want to avoid all of that by simply having our hearing checked. And what is a greater time to start that awareness? Today, World Hearing Day. And we want you to start today paying greater attention, but come on the 11th and have your hearing test done. And maybe make contact with Dr. Slibber or any of the other audiologists to have your hearing test done today. Get to know. I want to thank all of you for joining me this morning, and I really wish every success. Shay, of course, you will keep us posted on as we get ready for next week, so we continue to let people know of the offer. Indeed. Dr. Mariella Stabler, who is an audiologist, she's with the Barbados Speech and Hearing Center, and that is another matter for discussion as well. Shay Greenwich, who's the founder and chairman of the Deaf Heart Project. And with us also on the screen is, she isn't talking today other than with her signs, Kayleen Bangura. Thank you so much as well. All the best to you, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome indeed. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment. Where will we go? Tisha knows. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Maxback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
22 and a half minutes after 7 o'clock now. It's time for Tisha's Secret Stop. Where is she? We asked you to give us a call. Tisha, we asked them and we asked them and we asked them. And we got quite a number of calls. Do you want to hear what they said? Okay, I'm reading lips, so somebody will get Tisha in my ear in just a moment. We've had some calls. We've had Gregory, we've had Rashina, Alicia, Tricia, Leah, Mary, Kevin, all of them. I don't know. They've told me some places, but Tisha is the only one who will be able to confirm to me whether or not these are correct. But the clue was 40 and 25, right, Tisha? The clue was also in the whip of the hair.
Yeah.
Indeed. So where art thou? Reveal for me.
I'm wearing a ponytail today.
Uh-huh.
So that should be a clue. And look, we switched so you could see we are indeed at the Garrison Savannah, the 40th running of the Sandy Lane.
And they're not off. So we're going to get back to Tisha in just a moment while they freeze. But I wonder what the 40 and 25 means. I don't know. I've never, ever, well, I've been there once to work. But, you know, doing the Garrison thing is not necessarily me. But what does 40 and 25 mean? We'll talk to Tisha about that when we reconnect in just a moment, of course. But thanks to Gregory and Rashina, Alicia, Tricia, Leah, Mary, and Kevin. Y'all are all right. Some said Gold Cup. Others said Garrison. There you are, Tisha. Now you're back with us. What does the 40 and 25 mean?
The funding of the Sandy Lane Gold Cup and 25 years for Sandy Lane as a sponsor.
Oh, Thanks for clarifying for me, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely. So there are a lot of people here who have come to take in all of this action, as the jockeys is prepare for the big running tomorrow. So there's lots happening all behind us. If you can look and see, there's a big setup because there's going to be a fantastic presentation, as we know how they do every year for the Sandy Lane Cup. Loads of Barbadians come out to be a part of it, and we are now linking up with
Well, Tisha's trying to be hoping to get to hear the conversation from Mohammed. He's been working there for years. An old scholar of the Coleridge and Parry School as well. So let's see if we can hopefully get that sorted out so we can get ahead of what's happening tomorrow in the Sandy Lane Gold Cup. Sandy Lane marking its 25th anniversary of supporting the Sandy Lane Gold Cup. It's going to be a spectacular event tomorrow. And of course, that spectacular event you will see here on TV. We will bring you live coverage of every race of the day tomorrow on 94.7 FM as well. So let's see if we can now hear Tisha one more time. Tisha, you're with one of my friends, Mohammed.
Yes, we are with Mohammed. We talked a little earlier, Mohammed, about what this racing day means on the calendar here in Barbados, the sporting, the island. Even from a business perspective,
it's very much can't get a room in Barbados to rent. No hotels, cars, everything rented out, which just for this, and which is a good sign economy.
What do you most? I know you're an officer. You're in the thick of things all the time. You know, when we come here, we're looking for you. Plus, you have two names. It's Mohammed.
So tomorrow you'll hear, and they're off. No more turns. All of that is what's going to be happening indeed at the Garrison Savannah tomorrow. We're going to try to get those gremlins out because we're only interested in the horses and what's happening there, and Tisha and her guests as well. Isn't it spectacular? Doesn't it look absolutely beautiful? The pictures, the colors are coming in rich indeed. That's because, you know, they're taking time to really take care of the space there at the Garrison Savannah. And that's where thousands, I mean literally thousands will be, and we'll also be there live. You will see it here on TV8, and of course, you know, we really want to be grateful for you getting there early o'clock before your television sets. If you cannot get to the Garrison Savannah, the thing I'm looking forward to is this spectacular parade before the race. Then we have all the dancers and the members of the parade. That's going to be great. And I know traditionally, you know, you look forward to it. I know a number of you are not so caught up in the race. But some of you are. So we will wait to see which horse wins. A number of horses are representing some of the parishes of our island as well. And no doubt if you want to support the horse that represents your parish, good luck to you. But tomorrow the Garrison Savannah is going to be a hive of activity. There are very special parking arrangements and traffic arrangements in place. We're hoping that you pay close attention to it to avoid any frustration as you make your way there to the Garrison Savannah, because it is going to be a day for the family, a day of fun, a day of just great racing. And bring the children down, they get to enjoy that sport of kings as well. So let's see if we can reconnect with Tisha again. Tisha, take it away.
Pearson, that's right. So we had a good time talking with Mohammed about what you can expect tomorrow, and you did a good job at sharing about that. Mohammed, here's where I get to say my favorite phrase for this particular stop. And we're off. All right, so follow me. Let's go. We are going to take you to see one of those people who comes to Barbados all the time to be a part of what's happening. If you look just beyond here, there are some guys over there. There was one guy asking me to give him, you know, my idea of who would win. So I'm going to have to think about that. But I met a guy earlier who is in Barbados specifically every single year for Gold Cup. And he's also a horse owner in Trinidad. All right, so Dwight is here pondering on what he's going to do. Dwight, what brings you to Barbados? every year at this time?
At this time, the sun, the sea, and the love for horse racing brings me here all the time.
Now, you had a horse that you competed here at the Gold Cup before. Tell me about that experience.
It was a fabulous experience. The horse ran fourth. His name was Trini Aviator, and he did good. He did us proud. So, unfortunately, we don't have any this year, but hopefully next year we will have one again.
All right, so you're out bright and early. I see you have, all the names on here, the racing form. Do you know who you're going to be betting on this weekend?
More than likely, it will be It's a Gamble.
It's a gamble?
Yeah.
No pun intended?
No pun intended.
All right, so Vividly, American Diamond, So Suave, It's a Gamble. That's Dwight's choice. Tallahatchie Bridge, Brilliant News, Bodie Tap, Renaissance Frolic, and Mohawk. They are going to be in the Sandy Lane Barbados Gold Cup that's going to run around 5 o'clock or so tomorrow. 6, and then you're heading off. You're going to leave us?
No, we're leaving for Trinidad on the Sunday night.
All right. So it's a quick stop here at the Garrison Savannah. Mohammed is very, very busy. We had a fantastic time. They really, really took care of us. As you can see, we are taking it. All the action just over there is where you're going to have the big performances. Of course, there will be parading and a whole lot to see and do. That's why we made it here today as our secret stop. So congratulations to those of you who guessed. It was indeed the Garrison Savannah for the Sandy Lane Gold Cup. 40 years. Mohammed, come say goodbye. He's on the phone. Always busy, but that's okay. He's hiding the phone. I can still hear the person talking. All right, so tell Barbadians why they need to come out to the Gold Cup tomorrow.
One, after 2 years, as our Prime Minister, we outside. We outside. I wish everybody to be outside. And not only that, it's the 40th year for the Sandy Lane Barbados Gold Cup and 25th year for Sandy Lane sponsorship. So both are special. It's a milestone for both occasions.
Are you allowed to bet?
No, I'm not.
I'm allowed to bet. Pearson, we still have some time. I am told that there's a big purse that might be coming. You could, can win quite a bit of money.
Yes, something around the vicinity of $124,000 in carryovers, which means you got $100,000 alone in the Super Six, Soca Six, which is like picking the 6 winners for those particular races. Then they have the High Five carryover, they have the Super Fecta carryover. So when you add it all up, it's almost $124,000 to be won by one simple punter. Somebody could walk off the road and win that $124,000.
I think it's going to be me. And I can't guarantee I'm coming back to CBC if I win all that money, Pearson. This might be my permanent secret stop, the Garrison Savannah.
It's a good place to be for real indeed. And so we're looking forward to the parade. Do you have any idea? Can you give us a sense of what we can expect in the parade tomorrow? Do you know?
What's coming up in the parade tomorrow? I know for certain the young people of the Beige to the World, the people who've made it to Beige to the World, they're going to be parading with the Barbadian contingent. Who else can we expect?
Well, as far as I saw in the rehearsal, they even had some little 3- and 4-year-old kids. And that was just a sight to see. They're just enjoying themselves. So I know tomorrow they're going to put on a show.
That's right. Tariq O'Neill, who won Beige to the World last year, he is also going to be performing, as well as the winner of Season 1. She is going to be performing with Masala. So, there's a big show planned for tomorrow here at the Garrison Savannah. I've just been really excited about seeing the horses. As I was coming in this morning, I told you I wore the hairdo because of the spot. And one of the horses, I saw the horse giving me side eye, and then he did this. He did this. I was like, yeah, that means he's with it. He's enjoying this, And I did that. We were, toe to toe, literally.
Well done indeed. Tisha, thank you so very much for taking us into your secret spot. I can't wait for where you take me next week. So look out for that, folks. Don't miss it indeed. Tisha's secret spot and stop. And so as we did this week, we will open the phone lines and encourage people to let us know and to guess where you shall be. You want to drop any hints yet?
For next week?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
But we'll drop it in the week. We'll let them know exactly what the clue is so people can start thinking about where my secret stop will be next Friday.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Tisha. Tisha Hines on location at the Garrison Savannah today. To all of you who called and you responded correctly, she's at the location of the Sandy Lane Gold Cup. She's at the Garrison Savannah. Y'all are right. Each of you was right indeed. I mean, the calls came through in numbers. Well done, everyone, and well done to the team on location as well. There you go. High five. So, and they're off and they're running. And so the big race and the races are on tomorrow. Remember, live coverage here on TV8. We will also be carrying every single race on 94.7 FM tomorrow. So do not miss it. Be next to your radio. Be in front of your TV. And don't miss every trod around the Garrison. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together, we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
24 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock as we turn our attention to Clean Up Barbados. The big event is on in a couple weeks, and so we have the organizer in herself of Clean Up Barbados, Anne Harding, and she brings along with her a couple team leaders in Kathy Daniel, who will be leading the team, the charge. She's with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and with her is Neil Hutchinson of Studio Blue Architects, Upton Neighborhood and Friends. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. Hi, Pearson.
Good to see you all indeed. And I want to start with you. How are things going? How are plans going?
Well, it's really exciting. This year, Pearson, we have the biggest group registered ever. We've got 1,193 volunteers registered today.
We did it.
40 groups are going to clean up 28 locations around Barbados. I hope you can share the map. It's just really amazing. And including Barbados Blue are going to do an underwater cleanup in Carlisle Bay. Mm-hmm. And we have volunteers at 5 illegal dump sites. So this is where we pick up most of the weight. This is where we picked up 38.9 tons of material from the landscape last year. And most of that did come from illegal dump sites. The dump sites that we're cleaning are in Bucks and Warrens. These are watersheds, Pearson, that's really dangerous. That people are throwing mattresses into watersheds. It causes catastrophic floods, you know. Mm-hmm. It has. And yeah, Neil, he's doing one in Lemon Arbor, so he can tell you about what he's facing there. We've sent you some pretty gruesome looking pictures of what he's going to tackle. And 13 beaches. You know, groups with young children, they really need the safety of a beach as opposed to the riskiness of a place like Bucks Gully that the Barbados Defense Force and Kathy's group and the Barbados Fire Service with the Bajan Firefighters Network, they're going to tackle Bucks. They're going to tackle Bucks Gully.
Right. Right. The largest number of volunteers so far. This is fantastic news. That's good. That means that the message is getting through, that more and more people want to help. And so, Kathy, you're leading the charge there with your team. Where's your specific area?
Bucks Gully in St. Thomas.
Oh, boy, that sounds deep, dark, and damp.
It is.
But you're going to tackle it. So how is it getting your team together and I know you have the energy to pull them all together and to get them ready for the 18th of March?
Well, The thing is, it's about service. That's one of the key precepts of our church. It is about serving each other, and we can't look around and see people dumping washing machines. I mean, you know the energy it takes to load a washing machine, I guess, onto a truck and then heave it over the side into a gully. I mean, good grief, man. And you're like 5 minutes drive away from the legal dump. I get very upset and annoyed about this. You know, you see people, and it starts with people chucking a fruit juice or other beverage out of a window. We have to really, it's not enough to have the laws against littering. We have to enforce them. We have to make sure that people pay a price. Personally, I would like to see every Barbadian, there you go. There you go. Come on.
Yes.
Seriously, Barbados, we can do better. Where do they think our drinking water comes from? Okay, we are a water scarce country. And you're putting a refrigerator which has in, I don't know, all sorts of gases and chemicals and stuff. Where do you think it's going to go? Into the waters, into the aquifer.
Yes.
And then into our drinking water. So, you know, I mean, come on, guys. We can do better.
We truly can do better. But it's the energy like that that really revs us up to do better. And that's revved up record numbers of people volunteering again this year. And so that's what we want when we come out on the 18th, that the passion we take into those spaces to clean up. Neil, what about you and getting your team together to be able to head out there on the 18th as well to clean up? And how passionate are they about this?
Oh, Neil's microphone's not on.
Neil, you're muted, Neil, so just unmute. We will do the muting from here. You don't worry about it. But go ahead, Neil. Morning.
Yeah, I was saying that I've been doing this for 11 years, since 2011 now. We started, as Anne said, you know, on the beaches with the kids. And then as our kids got older, we sort of decided, not specifically because they got older, but they were more able to tackle some of the inland sites. And I just kind of rope in some friends, family, anybody who was interested and willing to come along. But yeah, I look at it as trying to make a positive difference. I mean, people, it's just such a negative mindset, I think, to be going and dumping, you know, inconsiderately around our island. I'm a really proud Barbadian, and I just can't understand how people can, you know, consider themselves a Bajan and just be treating our country this way. You know, you know, we really need to step up more and be more responsible. But yeah, we got a lot of passionate people in our team. I think there's about 40 people coming to help us clean up the site up in just opposite Ashbury Plantation, just below Lemonarba up in St. George. I would like to encourage anybody else who's interested to come and help us, because it is, as Kathy was saying, I mean, our site, those photos you showed earlier are from the site that we're going to be cleaning up. And there's loads of large appliances, fridges, washing machines, TVs, all sorts of stuff. And so I went and scoped the site on Wednesday afternoon just to double check what we had to deal with. And I mean, this is quite a major operation on our site. I mean, we have, you know, there's a couple of companies that I would like to shout out as well who are donating their services to help us do it. So there's a guy, Judah Tate, that's bringing his Bobcat. There's the scrap man who's going to donate a whole compactor garbage truck. Because I mean, when we did Charnock's 2 years ago, we collected 8 tons from that one site, and I suspect this site is going to be a very similar weight of garbage. I mean, it's phenomenal the amount of garbage that's up there. I mean, I spoke to the landowner, and he's been trying, you know, for years, Michael Gill, Ashbury Plantation, to try and get this to stop. And, you know, he's even managed to, he was telling me a story where he managed to kind of confront a fellow that was dumping there illegally, blocked off the road either side to stop him, brought the police there, but you know, nothing happened of it really, essentially. So there was no prosecution, there was no, and that's the problem. We're not policing. And it's not just for the police to do this job, it's for all Barbadians to step up and say, look, point out somebody when they see somebody dumping illegally and call it to the attention of the authorities. In the last few years, we would have seen social media playing its part, people capturing people dumping on video and posting online. And that has been successful in tackling those issues, because people then are in the public's eye, and we've seen the police and the authorities kind of forcing them to go and clean up the site. But I don't think that's enough. They need to have a fine as well as cleaning up the location.
There's a lot of work still to be done in terms of education and policing and then prosecution. So, and with these record numbers of people, that means that you're going to need some further help. You're going to need some. What else are you looking for that we can ask companies and larger organizations to volunteer, to donate, to give, to assist you in being able to not just collect, but then to cart away what you've collected?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Pearson, you're right. And Neil mentioned Scrapman. We get good support from all of the skip companies, Skip Services and Garbage Master. And the skips help a lot to take away a lot of rubbish, and they weigh it and tell us how much it weighs. It's great. But you know what? We need a lot of garbage bags and gloves, and we've had some donations already. Little Arches Boutique Hotel, they were first in. They ordered from Fergus. And that's right down the street from the Future Center Trust. So it's easy if you want to order some bags and gloves from Fergus and have them delivered to the Future Center Trust. That's the way to go, because we need a lot. We've also had gloves and bags donated from Bryden Stokes and Carter's and HMB. The hardware stores also help us out a lot. Marshall Trading, what they do is they send a truck full of tools and wheelbarrows to a location, and then they pick it up at the end of the day, and that's a wonderful help.
Yeah, but you know,
so we ask and cost you less for garbage bags. So we're really having to scour the island.
Indeed, and you're doing well. And so gloves, we need lots more gloves. We need lots more garbage bags. So if all of you watching, and I mean, it'll be great for the companies to do in large numbers, but I think the smallest donation is also fantastic. So if you look around in your own cupboard as well and you want to give, you can do so as well by not just giving your time and your energy to be out there picking up garbage and stuff, but bring along your own gloves, bring along your garbage bags as well. And if you have a collection of them, contact the Future Center Trust and make your donation. This is happening on the 18th. And so again, the logistics. So when you're assigned to a team, you go to your location. You get there from what time to what time?
Well, this is the key to the whole thing, Pearson, is that Clean Up Barbados depends on group leaders like Kathy and Neil. And so we work together with them, and then they organize their group. So see, here's the steps, the 5 steps. And so you have a group, you pick a leader, the leader registers, and we've already had, like I said, 40 groups register, and then we work together with the group leader to try to provision you with what you need to clean up your site. But it's up to the group leader what time they start, and we actually don't dictate where they clean. We'll work with you, and we need to make sure that we don't have everybody going to Browns Beach or Brandon's Beach. And I encourage people, and the Barbados Community College, they're going out to clean an illegal dump site in Warrens. And so we could use a little bit more help there, I think, in respect to maybe a bobcat.
Right. So if anyone has a bobcat, contact you guys at the Future Center Trust and make that donation possible indeed. This is going to be great. Kathy, what time is your group assembling and to push off from?
We're probably going to assemble at the 3 chapels for about 8 o'clock, because I don't want to make it too early, but we want to get going before that sun tries to cook us.
You have to use those 3-letter words, sun. I know.
The son, the father, and a couple of outside children. So,
it's going to get hot, but nonetheless, the earlier we get it done, the better indeed. And what about you, Neil? What's your advice to your team?
Well, I mean, we're going to start earlier. We're trying to start around 7:30. But yeah, I mean, obviously the things is bring lots of water. It's going to be, I mean, especially our location, it's going to be pretty physical work what we're doing. Wear some solid enclosed shoes to protect your feet, because you never know what you're going to stand on or find. Talking to one of the other team members yesterday, a subgroup, so for Koyman, who's going to join us. we debated bringing masks, and I said, well, if you're not squeamish, then you might want to bring some masks, because some of the garbage we're going to find out this site may not smell too pretty. So, you know.
True.
But it needs doing, and so, you know, we're just going to suck it up and get to the task.
That's it.
But at the end of the day, when you know, when you can look back and see, you know, the difference that you've made, it is a real positive, uplifting feeling.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And you know, and to hear that the Scouts as well, I know the Boy Scouts at the Blackman and Gollop Primary, they're also joining in this cleanup effort. This is fantastic. It's really touched many people of different ages and stages and all places indeed. And so the 18th of March, folks, is the day when all Barbadians join hands. Let's join hands and show how much we love Barbados by cleaning up Barbados indeed. And so if you have not yet volunteered, you can do so by going to the Future Center Trust, the website, and you can sign up your organization, your group, your individual. Look at that. That's a list of, so far, a number of the different groups and organizations who have already registered. There's still space. You can still do so. Barbados is large. You better believe it. And while you may have been able to cover certain areas, there are others that may be overlooked. Your area could also be one that you can tackle as well. But just indicate via the Future Center Trust website that you are register, select your group leader, get your team together and tackle your area. And as you tackle, just of course to tag with your pictures at Cleanup Barbados, and let's share to the rest of the world the great work we are doing as a community indeed. We've got to leave it there, team. Thank you so much as always. Anne Harding, she's leading the charge. Cleanup Barbados, indeed, she's the organizer. Kathy Daniel, who has a great team from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and Neil Hutchinson, who's leading the Studio Blue Architects Upton Neighborhood and Friends. Indeed, they're off to save the island. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you, Pearson.
You're very welcome, indeed. What a great, great opportunity for all of us to add and show our love for Barbados. We're taking a break. When we come back, unscramble some words with me. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature you on Scramble This, brought to you with the compliments of Family Choice, available from Massey Distribution Inc.
That voice is so right, absolutely right. Available from Massey Distribution Inc. Remember, Family Choice is locally manufactured. It has been doing this for over 30 years now. You know this. Their products are ready to go and they're available at retail outlets. They're in all of them, straight from the cupboard. Now, today we have a number of featured products that we want to tell you about. So when you head out to your retail stores today, look for the chopped ham and hot and spicy luncheon meat by Family Choice. There it is, flickering on your screen. There it is, indeed. That's what you look for. Great with your meals, great with your biscuits, great with your macaroni pie, great with your kebabs, great. And the children love it. Put it between some bread. Oh my goodness me. Bite into it. Can you taste it already? Can you feel it? It is fantastic. Family Choice. That's the brand you look for. Family Choice. That is the brand of luncheon meat we're talking about today. So, let's get cracking with you on scrambling some words right now. Let's give you the first word. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What is that word? Not pedicure. So what is that word? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me now. Let me know the word as you unscramble it. from the letters you see on your screen. So get it sorted out, folks. There we go. And of course, you can have your luncheon meat with your eggs. You can have it with your bread and cheese. You can have it with your macaroni pie. You can have it, period. Fry it up and eat it if that's the way you want to do it as well. So 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word is it that you can make using the letters on your screen? The ones on special today: chopped ham and hot and spicy luncheon meat. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Pearson. This is Mildred from St. Lucie.
Yes, Mildred, my girl. What's the word?
Is prejudice.
You sure, Mildred?
Yeah, Prejudice.
Girl, you can spell too. Well done, Mildred. Thank you so much. Spot on. Have you ever tried for the luncheon meat?
Yes, please. Yes.
It's nice, nah?
Yes, I tried to. Yeah, I bought some already.
Good girl. Keep buying it, Mildred. Thank you. Here?
Yes, please. All
right, well done. New word to unscramble. Come quick, folks. Look at this one. Sea sheep. Sea sheep. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word is it, however? That is just my pronunciation, but your challenge is to unscramble the letters and give me the word. This is so easy, isn't it? 228-5562 or 228-5563. It is easy, just like that. That's squeezy. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word is this one now? A new word on your screen. I'm saying like that for those of you who have a service that is a little bit slower. So by the time it gets to you, you're going to hear me saying that. New word on your screen. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word is this now? Come. Call me now and let me know. Of course, as you're making your choices up, you're going to make your choice family choice luncheon meat. And there's so many varieties of it. It's astounding what they can do with luncheon meat nowadays. Didn't know they had all these different flavors. They have it too with low salt and the like. Good morning. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Pearson.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're welcome. Who's calling?
This is Deborah.
Hi, Deborah. What's the word, Debs?
Pardon?
What is the word?
I got speech or cheap.
You got speech or cheaps? Huh?
Yes, please.
All right, Deborah, I'll take the speech.
Yes,
Thank you.
I love speaking with you.
You too, Deborah. Have a wonderful day. Take care now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Aw, you're something else in the production crew. All right, can we give them one more word? Let me give them another word, man. Here we go. Spotter, but that is not the word. The word is your challenge now to unscramble this word. Unscramble this word. 228-5562 or 228-5563. It is not what you see on the screen. It's a different word. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What if you rearrange these letters you can make? That's the word I'm looking for. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Of course, you know, how do you like to enjoy your luncheon meat? Your family choice luncheon meat. How do you? You put it between biscuits? Yeah? Me too. I would too. Or you put it between bread. I go for as simple as that. But I don't do the cooking. But if I did, I'd probably also include it in my macaroni pie to add a different flavor, to what we do. Family choice. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning. The word is potters.
Is potters?
Yes.
Potters?
Yes, please.
So you took the S and put it on the other side?
Yes, please.
Take it back, because that's not it.
Spotters?
No.
S-P-O-T-T-E-R-S?
I get you, you know. Don't think I don't get you. But that's not the word I'm looking for. It's not the word I'm looking for. Thank you so much for trying. Don't listen. Why y'all do this to me? What is the word? What is the word?
Pardon?
What word did you just say?
Is it protest?
Yes, ma'am. It is protest.
I am protesting this morning with you, Pearson.
You could protest.
You got me spelling all kind of words.
You can protest all you want. But listen, my question to you is, have you tried the family choice luncheon meat?
Yes, I have. It's very good. They have one,
real?
but they have one that I don't really like, but they're good.
All right, don't worry about that's life. That's life. But you've tried it and you like it. It's really good. What do you use it with? What do you use your luncheon meat with?
I have it with biscuits because I can't fry it or anything like that.
You like it with your biscuits? Eclipse biscuits or soda bits?
I love Eclipse biscuits.
You like the hard biscuit, as we call it, right?
Yeah, the hard biscuit, like all
like,
thing.
Yes, yes. You like the crunch.
Yeah, but you have cramps.
Listen, here is your brother. Here is your
and
brother.
And a hot cup of tea, Pearson.
Yes, yes, yes. So you've never tried it in macaroni pie or anything like that?
No, please. I tried it with macaroni salad.
Oh, okay. I thought you were not very creative in the kitchen.
No, I do it with salad.
All right, fair enough. Thank you for trying. Have a wonderful weekend.
We like to experiment in St. Lucie, Pearson.
You know.
Yes,
I know you know.
People got to experiment.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Okay, all the best.
You too, darling.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, indeed. You're welcome, indeed. Protest was that word, by the way. Listen, time's up again. Would you imagine that? We just got here so quickly. But thank you all for staying with us indeed today. We have been having a ball with you. My producer has been Alicia Asgrant. Technical director has been Samuel Mason, assisted by Roel Ford. At sound has been Christopher Blenman. And at Master Control, Tamisha Green. I am Pearson Bowen. For each of them, to all of you, we say thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Come back on Monday. We'll have more. Stay with us. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.